Well, welcome to everyone. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to a cloudy, gonna get some rain. There's blue sky day here in South Africa. Hope all you guys are still truly well and blessed by our Lord and Savior. So yeah, let's keep this short. So what are we doing today? You can still see the nice clouds and everything. What do you do when you need a dual purpose bike and you don't have one? Well, we're gonna answer that question. You saw in the video, I've got the CX500. It was a normal CX. I made it like a retro racer. Well, so vlieg. In this video, we're gonna be turning it into a dual purpose, maybe like a super motard, something like that. We'll do something like that. We're gonna change the shocks and everything. But yeah, not talking, let's get going and I'll show you what we're gonna do. All right, let's go. Alrighty, so let's make a quick shout out to all the members. There's been some movement here in the normal aspirated class. Old members left, new ones came in, and then also here in the nitro class. So big shout out: Jacques Dalhousie, Thomas de Wet, Henry Dalhousie, Carl de Wet, Christian Eisel, Skippy the Dude, HM78, Jaco Vogel, new ones, Jamie Foster, Nico Kukumur, Nitro class, Danique de Wet, Cruising with Chris, Lola Hansen, Nicolas Dalhousie, your favorite Stalker 04, Bumblebee, Gerard Grobler, Charles Dalhousie, and then she moved from normal aspirated to Nitro, Joanne Howlett, and then turbo class, the old guy, Charles Liebenberg. Alright, thank you guys, it helps a lot. So yeah. Alright, so there she is. So the issue is with this whole bike, I build her like this, but she's a bit low, as you'll see just now. And yeah, you saw now, she's a bit low. And then the other problem, she's now like a retro racer or something. But essentially I wanted to make her a cafe racer. Well, yeah, then you need to chop the seat and then it looks like this. Yeah, and all that would be fine and dandy if we had perfect roads to drive on, which we don't. So the front suspension is just a little bit, say 50 mils of travel. And it's already low. So I love this bike. I want to ride with this bike. This bike has 20,000 Ks on it. So we're going to the Buffalo Rally in a month's time, and it's 1,000 Ks plus minus, give or take. It's just over 1,000 Ks from here. The people I'm riding with aren't the people that drive 160, 180. They're the people that drive 120, 140. So they stick to the rules. So I cannot go on a Turbo Busa because it'll irritate the life out of me. You can't drive a Turbo Busa or B King or anything at that speed. But the CX500, oh, that'll work beautifully. So this video, what are we gonna do? Well, we've got a load of parts. I bought a couple of parts for the bike, so to make it a dual purpose bike. Alright, so first thing, we got to set the spotlights with the switches. Then we've got this, don't know if you can see, it's for the back shocks to extend them, to lift the bike up, to make it a real dual purpose bike. Alright, so two of them. Also got this, you put it there by your mirrors and then you can put more spotlights and stuff like that on. Got two of them. So check, that's just a little thingy I got. and then a screen. You can't have a dual purpose bike without a screen. Yeah, that should work. At least some wind protection. Yeah, so that is the back lifted, and then a couple of small parts. So now you may be asking, yeah, what the hell, how are we gonna, what about the front, man? Yeah, all right, that's where those come in. You see, nice long shocks. Just get one out there. So, I don't know if you can see, these shocks are on the ground and they're as long as the bike is at the moment. So we'll lift the nose, we'll lift the back. We're obviously going to have to make a shaft for the front wheel and some sort of adapter for the disc brake. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. And as you hear, it's starting to rain. Alright, so plus minus, we're going to clean the carbs. Someone do the clutch also. I don't know if I'm going to be changing the tires. That's why I say either a dual purpose or something in the line of a super motard. I'm not sure about the front mud guard and anything, but yeah, maybe we'll make the clutch hydraulic. I've got another one, but the only issue is this space over here and the radiator and everything. As you can see, I don't know if there is enough space for hydraulic cylinder, but we'll surely give it a try. So yeah, let's first strip the bike down and start installing parts. All right, so let's get going. Okay, so the front wheel is about to come out, and then we'll be taking the shocks out. I think what we'll do is we'll take one shock out, put one of the other ones in, and just show the difference between the two. But I'm gonna focus, remove the entire triple clamp. I've got a bit of play up top that I need to address, and yeah, then we'll see how the front end looks. So yeah, let me get that wheel out and we'll continue. All right, so just roughly an idea what the difference in shocks are. The shock isn't fully in up top here. It needs about that much, but look at that difference. It'll raise it right up. All right, and yeah, there's one or two more things I forgot to mention. With the parts, I'll also be installing an LED headlight assembly and maybe a set of Pro Taper race bars, depending on how everything turns out. But yeah, that's definitely gonna make a difference. So yeah, hold on, let's see how it looks like when it's done. All right, so we ran into our first little problem, and it's really just a little problem. The Aprilia's front shaft we're gonna have to use. It's a 20mm shaft. These holes are 16mm. So yeah, that's a little problem, but no worries. We will just open those holes up. As you can see, there is a lot of meat. So yeah, we will just open them up a bit, and then it should be fine. As I say, first problem, nothing is just a straight fit. There will be more problems, but we'll sort it out as we get there. All right, let's continue. So for the rear suspension, as the story normally goes, I got these nice shock extenders to extend the standard shocks quick and easy. Well, yeah, number one, they don't fit, and number two, they don't go over. So yeah, that was a waste. Well, yeah, so we had to resort to plan B. Went to my local bike shop, got a set of another bike shocks. If you can check, they are longer and stuff. I just need to fit those bushings onto here and drill those holes out so it can fit there at the bottom. But yeah, we make a plan. That's how it goes. So let's see how the new shocks hold out. So it looks more like a cruiser at the moment. then dual purpose, but the front end, as you can see, is still jacked up. I'll lower it just now. Still got a couple of issues. Made it so the shaft can go through, but there was no way of tightening the shaft, if you can believe that. So I had to, this was all just dummy stuff. So drilled it, tapped it, slotted it so it can clamp down on the shaft. That's fine. Need to work out a bit more spacers, but the shaft is in. You can see the wheel is turning freely. Back shock is lifted. It'll look much better once everything is in place and everything. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, and I still need, I'm polishing this down a bit because it doesn't recess in here. It's got a little steppy. So there is something I can take off. I'm busy doing that. So they can make it to flush. But yeah, it looks strange. But it will look much better once it's done. That's just to give you guys an idea. All right, let's continue. All right, so yeah, good morning. It's a new day. Let me update you on a couple of things I did. As I won't show you everything, it's gonna take too long, but the bike had straight bars. Oh, my soul. Nice sealed beam headlight that worked pretty good. Headlights around and stuff like that. So we swapped them out. I didn't show you, but I installed Pro Tapers. I did show you on this side. I did machine the shocks down. So as you can see now, they fully recessed. I did install these new headlight brackets and obviously new headlight. Oh, all right, the brake caliper is pulling it to the side. Made new bushings for the front wheel, as you can see. As I said, I did that. So all that is fine now. Things I still need to do. The Pro Taper bars actually looks very good with the shocks recessed and everything. Problems or not problems. The headlight, these brackets and screws in there. So I still need to make bushings. So they don't pull in like this, and we'll also machine something on the light to make the headlight fit better, or not better, but just to keep those bushings in place. And we'll install some indicators and stuff and sort the wiring out and all that like a grocery things. As I said, let me just do that. I still need to do is like this mud guard. Just put it on here. As you can see, it's not going to be that low, but what you can do and stuff like that, I cannot make mounts over here, let's say, to keep the mud guard there, because yeah, the shocks work. So as you can see, the only place for me to make brackets for the mud guard, let me just take it off, is from these points here. So it's going to be a straight arm going up, turned for the holes and everything. So I'll make that again off camera. Probably going to be like flat bar or angle iron. I think angle iron should work better because you can make the angle go up, but that doesn't matter. I will do that off camera. The brake line isn't long enough, obviously, because the shocks are like 10 miles longer. So I'll install a new brake line, and then if you can see, yeah, that caliper is not going to fit there, so I'll make an adapter for that. But again, I'm not going to show you step by step how to make an adapter that you will never use. I'll make the adapter and just show you and tell you this is more of a, if you want to turn a bike into super motard or dual purpose, the things you're gonna have to do. So once I made all that lekker groceries up there, we're gonna install the screen. Sorry. So we'll make something to mount the screen on. It's only got these brackets, but that's definitely not gonna be enough. But we'll make something. So yeah, this is just to show you. Yeah, it looks like you get that. Let me just put that speedo on. Just look at that. That's gonna be the view, and that's a GPS speedo, so it shows the true speed and everything. Well, not everything. It doesn't show the heat or oil pressure or stuff like that, but yeah, we are busy. So let me quickly continue finishing up everything, making those brackets and stuff, installing everything, and yeah, I'll show you a couple of steps, but I won't show you everything. All right, so let's continue. All right, everybody, busy making the brackets for the front mud guard, and I just realized I didn't make videos of making the bracket for the brake caliper. I already welded this one, so you cannot see what I'm doing. So at least I still got the other one. So take a piece of flat bar, that's just to mark it. Take a thicker piece, put a slot in it, put the two together, clamp it in the vise, yeah, and weld it. So the holes are already there for the mud guard, and yeah, here's the bracket for the brake caliper. All right, so I'm quickly gonna weld those up, and yeah, then I'll show you some of the rest of the stuff. As you can see, all the tools and everything is out, and it's raining like outside. So yeah, let me quickly finish those brackets and I'll show you how it looks on the bike. All right, so I just quickly want to show you all these brackets I built. These nice lovely steel brackets. Because it's such thin flat bar, I tapped it, but I put lock nuts on the back just to make sure they don't come loose, and it's easy to take off. So yeah, if you guys really want to see me build all these brackets, you must comment below and tell me, because I don't even think twice. I just start building them and yeah, ending. And I know maybe some of you would like to see it, but yeah, leave a comment and maybe I'll show a bit more when I'm building these brackets. All right, I'm quickly going to install it and then I'll show you how it looks like on the bike. There it is. So yeah, are we done? No, we're not done yet. But just check the difference. Dual purpose CX500. Mudguards on, brakes are on, but at this moment, the brakes are working via Bluetooth because the brake line isn't long enough. The back shocks, I still need to adjust them, make them stiffer. And yeah, it can't be a dual purpose without top boxes and boxes and boxes. So still need to put that on, and then I haven't installed the spotlights yet. But yeah, that's pretty much. Oh yeah, the lights and this. Yeah, okay. Let me stop. The light is connected, but the flickers aren't connected yet, so I still need to connect those. I put the screen on. I don't know if I said anything. Made spacers. Took all the black off this because it was leaking a bit. This aluminium caps always leak. So just cleaned it up and took the plastic off. All the old bikes had stuff like this to keep you from, I don't know, touching the aluminum or something. But yeah, I think it came out pretty nicely. As I say, there's still a couple of things to do. Oh yeah, I have to extend the side stand. As you can see at the moment, it's resting on a brick. Otherwise, it falls over. So yeah, the view from this side, I still need to take that grip off, put it on there. But yeah, that speedo on again. So yeah, that's about the view is gonna be. So let me finish up a couple of more things and well, then we can call this a video. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but yeah, let me do a couple of things and we go on from there. All right, so I was just starting to wire everything. As you can see, I put nice lugs on. Yeah, so this daylight driving, just switch, the bike is on. Daylight driving is working, as you can see, but the flicker unit's not working, or not the flicker unit, the flickering in the light. So that's blown. So yeah, I installed a new set of flicker lights. So they're not flickering at the moment because they still need a resistor. You can see they've got a front and back. But yeah, so installing new flickers. I'm taking these ones off again. But yeah, we're getting there, almost done. Well, good morning there, everyone. I'm in trouble again. We need to get this bike finished. As you'll see, the Bluetooth brake line is gone. We've got front brakes. I want to show you. Connected. So that's the daylight driving. Then there's the lights, and the brights look like an optional extra. Just that off, so that's daylight driving if you don't want to put the headlights on. And the flickers are working, not flickering. I need to get a new flicker unit. Seems my flicker unit is not in love with this LED stuff. I still need to extend the side stand, but yeah, how can you have a dual purpose bike without a top box? So this is a bracket I built a couple of years ago for a top box I have. I'm in the process of already building brackets, so just going to give you a quick idea what I'm doing. Took a piece of round bar, drilled and tapped 2 holes where these holes are going to be. So it's going to sit like that. The front hole, I'll put a piece of flat bar around like a clamp to that front hole. But yeah, quickly busy. So what's going on here, I'm now going to bend it, not 90 degrees, but forward at an angle. So it's going to be sitting roughly here, going down to there. All right, so I'm quickly going to do everything like said now. And yeah, as I said, we need to get this video finished. So I'll show you a couple of steps. After I bended that, I'll flatten the ends to make it possible to make a hole and connect it to the bike. So yeah, that's pretty much how that bracket's gonna look. I'll show you when I'm done. All right, let's get done with it. So she is done. Just look at that. She went from to, and as you can see now, it looks a lot better. She's much higher, clearances are better, everything looks better. I'm gonna put a different back tire on. There's still a couple of things that need to happen, but I've run out of time. I was busy with the top box bracket, but I buggered it up, so I have to make a new one. So probably, maybe, hopefully something like that. We'll keep that for a next video. The carbs are right, but I still need to do the clutch. Front brakes are sorted. I have to check all the nuts and stuff. The lights and stuff, I think, looks absolutely sick. The screen, nice. The Pro Tapers, the mud guard came out absolutely beautiful. The brackets for the headlight all the wiring is done. You saw me show you everything. Oh yeah, and I extended the side stand so she can stand on her own now, doesn't fall over anymore. A couple of other things I still need to do. The front shocks are a bit too soft for me, so they don't have much adjustment, that one. So I'll add a bit of oil in both shocks just to make it just a bit stiffer. Otherwise it's fine. The back shocks I did tighten or make them stiffer, so they feel great. Yeah, guys, girls, it was a lekker bike to start with, and it's still a lekker bike. It still doesn't look bad. Actually, I won't say it looks better. I like the retro racer style, so this isn't more gorgeous for me or anything, but it's more practical. I've got front shocks that can work. I've got back shocks that are much more forgiving. Raised bars, you're not riding on your wrists. Yeah, so even if you can't go fast, at least you can go lekker. So that's the setup. You've seen everything. If I make another video, it'll just be about the toe box and the clutch and yeah, maybe a test drive. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing, subscribing, commenting, liking. Oh hell, thank you guys for all your support, and yeah, all the members also. And if you want, become a member. If you don't want, just subscribe and share, and yeah, enjoy the content. Something else you want to see, just let me know. All right, God bless you all.